Scholars, you know, I've been thinking quite a bit. Life is changing. I'm maturing. When I say mature, I'm getting old. I'm becoming an old man. And as things continue on, I start getting a little bit more depressed that my hobby, video games, is slowly dying. I mean, AAA is absolutely imploding. Gaming in general is becoming expensive. Like, I remember, like, I still have my Halo 2 limited collector's edition. And when you got, or, you know, it could have been regular, right? You remember lining up at GameStop to get that sick new game, and you'd open up your case and you'd have all this cool stuff. Just, oh, Halo original soundtrack based. What's that? Here's some extras. Xbox Live. Who remembers that? Xbox Live. Oh, this is gonna be a real killer for some of y'all. Who remembers this? I know. The actual, like, guide. Actually explaining the game and stuff. Like, who remembers that? Oh my god. Even, like, the layout, the buttons and everything. And then you got all the extra sauce, the collector's extra sauce. Like, you got all that. But if you got the regular edition, you still got this, right? And you got this and some other extra stuff, right? But most importantly, you got this. You got this right here. And unfortunately, we've come to the time, the age where this will no longer exist. PlayStation announced that they're getting rid of, disc, and we know, Xbox is on its way. It's on its way to that point too. It's literally right behind PlayStation. Nintendo's already started that. We called out that bullcrap with the fake chip. It's all digital, and it will be all digital, unfortunately. And I called it out, and I'm going to call this out too, because there will be a time where you won't be able to have these. Sure, you'll have they'll sell you a collector's edition with nothing but like a stupid box. Here's your box, so you look like a dumbass. Here's your collector's edition, but it's nothing in it, dumbass. But you know what's sad is we'll get to an era where you won't have these anymore. You'd go to your local Walmart and you'd play demos. You can't do that anymore. I don't think there's a single Walmart anymore that has demos. They got rid of them. I remember just like this, sitting at your local Walmart, trying out the new game, trying to convince your parents, hey, can we buy one of these? Can we get one of these, Mom? Please, Dad, please, come on. What's going to happen is all this is just going to disappear. It is just going to become empty boxes with codes in them. That excitement that you used to have to go buy a brand new game, gone. And of course, AAA is dying more than one way because layoffs. PlayStation just laid off Bungie. Xbox is about to shut down multiple studios like PlayStation did already. And this is gaming. This is gaming where some people are intentionally putting their blinders up. Gaming's blowing up and we're just trying to make our way. So there's your intro. More a little somber. PlayStation has 2 updates. Let's go with the first one. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation and consoles. Let's just get something clear. If you are saying whatever, this is not a big deal, you are 1, anti-consumer, and 2, you're not a real gamer. And you should absolutely, I encourage anyone watching this, you should call out any content creator that doesn't see the issue with this and tries to water it down, dismiss it, because here's an important factor that you need to keep your eyes on these guys and stop supporting them. It's easy for them to not care about any of the possible, atrocities that are going to happen because of this, because they get paid. In fact, a lot of these content creators out there telling people that they need to grow, it's no big deal. It's because, one, they often get product for free. They get to have these nice little brand deals or to play this game, and often they get a free code where they don't even have to spend the money. Two, they get a shit ton of money where they could just buy it. Oh, what's that? Games are going to $100? That's no big deal. I make millions. What's an extra 20 when you have your average gamer, your average Joe, your average family? They're not making millions. You have your average collector, your average gamer who want to share disc. You can't share digital. Sure, you can do family share, but then you have to have you have to pay for the service, and you have to you have to have the internet. There's no just, hey, I'm gonna go down and give this to my friend, completely offline, put in the disc, don't even need an account, just put in the disc and play the game. I mean, nowadays you do need an account, right? But you don't need service. You just plug and play. And kids won't even know what split screening is, except for a couple games like the new Halo or remake is supposed to have local split play with some stipulations with it. But and we're gonna go down the line all the reasons why this is a bad deal. By the way, I just want to make something very clear. I knew this was going to happen. We all saw this coming. But just because this was going to be the general cloud gaming, using your that's a possibility in the future, cloud gaming, but also using digital downloads. I digital download a lot, but I also have the God of War. I have both God of Wars, on a disc. A lot of people will sit there and say it's no big deal because it doesn't impact them. Well, when you die from cancer, it's not a big deal to me, but you would still want people to care that you have cancer. I know that's a little extreme, but I hate the mentality of people if they don't give a shit unless it directly impacts them. And a lot of the content creators and streamers who, have these billion-dollar hands up their ass, they don't give a shit about you. By the way, PlayStation, this is not just PlayStation, Xbox is doing it too. Nintendo's already been doing it. These companies do not give a shit about you. They don't see you as a person, they see you as a dollar bill. They don't give a shit about you. I give a shit about you. We're gamers. We need to stick side by side because this is impacting our hobby, our things that we grew up with, things we enjoy, and we want our kids to grow up and enjoy. I want you to know that all the changes that are happening are not for your benefit. Going to physical disc isn't going to make consoles cheaper. In fact, console prices are still going up. Imagine that. Games are going up in price. They're not getting cheaper. All this hoopla that they're in response to shifting trends. The shifting trends is they're making shitty games and they're trying to make as much money as possible because no one's buying their shitty consoles because they keep making things that no one wants. They're increasing prices that no one can afford, except unless you're, you live with your mom in the basement, you're living a well-off place and you can afford and you don't have a family. Or you're most of the people, content creators, streamers who have a shit ton of money. Because most people don't appreciate this. And listen, I can afford the extra buck. I don't have a family right now. One day I will. One day I'll have a family. But I'm not going to just sit there and let my hobby be bastardized as it is. And just so people want to know a little sneak peek of some of the issues. Here's the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita. They are closing the store. That's right. Thousands of games, digital only, people will not have access to anymore. There is no way of playing them on the new consoles. They're just shutting it down. All that product lost, gone. There is no preservation here. And that's part of the problem, is that there's no ownership. They're just going to shut it down. They're not making these anymore. So unless you have an emulator, which I do, I've downloaded a bunch of PlayStation 3 games, you know, and I have them for emulation, like, you know, fuck Sony, right? Same thing with Nintendo. How many games do I have in a save folder in my my cloud, saved, ready for, you know, anytime I want to play it? But this is a good example, and it's not just the only one. We'll get to some more of a more pertinent part. But yeah, I posted this in response. It's a pirate's life for me, savvy. And that's where a lot of people are going to go. A lot of people are going to feel this. You're going to see what's going to happen with all these changes, increase in prices. Consoles are ungodly expensive. And by the way, what's the fucking point of having a fucking console if you can't even use the disc tray? You might as well just have a computer then. And I know that's going to be an argument for some people. What about Steam? They've been... Well, first off, we'll get to some good points in a minute for when it comes to prices. First off, if so, you can share your disc. And you could play offline. Most games, sure, unless it's a live service game, but most games you can play, you just plug and play your disc. So that's a big one. Secondly, Steam, outside of like the Visa situation where they remove games, they didn't take it out of people's libraries, they just removed them. Anytime something's removed from Steam, it's not because Steam is taking it away, it's because the publisher took it away, which is what's happening with like PlayStation, Xbox. They're removing things you paid for, access to it. Most people trust Steam because they're not going to just take away your games. As long as it's not a live service game that's reliant on the publisher, like let's say Destiny. If Sony pulls the plug on Destiny, it's not Steam's fault that you can't play it, it's Sony's fault. But Steam will not take your shit away. There's like years old games, like you can play the original Doom on Steam. They're not going to take that away. But PlayStation is already showing that they will. Right here, PlayStation is deleting over 500 purchased movies from its customers' accounts. That's right. You will own nothing and you will like it. This is why we need to conserve ownership with disc, because it's so they can just say one day, you know what? You guys were removing 500 games. You can't buy them. And even though you purchase them, no refunds. Having to do with licensing. Well, last I checked, if I paid for it like a disc, I should own it, right? But that's the problem, is that apparently you don't. Whereas if you did own a CD, you go at Terminator 2 on DVD, you own it. No one can take that away from you. No one can revoke that. And you think that this is going to be the only time? They're already revoking the PlayStation 3. What happens if they come out the PlayStation 6? How many years before they revoke all the PlayStation 5 games? Do you think they're going to bring it forward in the PlayStation 6? Probably not. And if they do, it's only going to be choice titles. How many games have we lost because we can no longer play backwards compatibility, which is another thing. PlayStation 6 has no disc. Oh, well, then all your PlayStation 5, no backwards compatibility. Sucks to suck. You need to have a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 6 so you can enjoy the games you bought on PlayStation. And Xbox, though Xbox, we'll get to Xbox. They're trying something, which I give them some brownie points, but they're still in the same shithole. And same thing with Nintendo, though Nintendo gives you the choice to pay a upgrade fee to go into the new system. But people are already pointing out some great things. Crazy thing about this is assuming PS6 is all digital, you won't even be able to watch movies or play PS5, PS4 disc on it either at all. Yeah, so it's just there's no way to play older content you already own unless you go back and buy one, which means you're just gonna have to hoard a bunch of consoles now. Physical disc production in January 28 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. We already knew about that. We'll get to this guy in a minute. I'm gonna put him toward the end. So here we go. This is Xbox Project Helix is expected not to include a disk drive. So same thing. They're all, by the way, when you have both sides of the industry, all these competitors are on the same trend, it's because it benefits them. This is nothing that's happening. The prices and memory. By the way, that's another thing. Disk takes up most of your memory. Now everything digital means, well, you only have so much memory space on your console. You just download Grand Theft Auto, which is 300 something gigs, or Call of Duty that's 300 gigs. Well, looks like your memory drive's completely full. Sucks to suck. I guess you better have fast internet that can download it in a day, or maybe if you're running slow internet, it'll take you 3 or 4 days to download it, and then you have to delete it and download the other game you want to play, then delete that and download the other game you want to play, and then delete that. Man, we have gone full circle, because that was also a problem with the Xbox, the old G Xbox and PlayStation, where you had to put in the memory cards, and then you would put your save and all that, and you'd be sitting there flipping between memory cards. Man, it's almost like we got full circle, but I thought we solved that problem by putting things on disk, and all the memory was on the disk, and all the saves were on, the console itself. But no. Nothing here. Again, this is not consumer friendly. This is not gamer friendly. This is anti-gamer. It is for the best interest of the companies. They're not looking for you. They're not looking out for you. They don't care about you. And neither are these content creators, streamers, and even these mama basement dwelling losers that have someone else flipping the bill for them. They're not looking out for gamers. Yeah. But here it is. Xbox is working on a disc to digital feature that would let those physical copies secure a digital version of the game. Xbox is likely to also, yeah, we already know it is. So they're working on a way. If you own your disc, I don't know how they're gonna figure that one out. Like maybe you will get the ability to scan it in via disc if you have. I don't know how they plan to do this, or if you have a ownership docked. I don't know. This seems convoluted. I don't know how the heck they would figure it out. But if you own a disc and you're able to play it on the new console, and that way you don't have to have 2 Xboxes, that's cool. But again, I wouldn't give up my disc. Then we have this person. Only Reddit users are upset about this. I haven't bought a physical game in like 10 years. These are the losers. These are the people that are what we call shit eaters. They will eat literal shit. And they will ruin gaming. They will ruin gaming. And you can see that people are calling them out. By the way, you got to watch out who you let talk for you and us as a community, a gaming community. These are the people we need to harass. We need to listen. There's a few times where I say we should bully someone. We should absolutely bully these people off because they're ruining our hobby. These people are little parasites. When you get banned for no reason, gang, you're going to change how you think. I barely even use my PS5. It's a shit console. I play primarily on PC. So again, people who have no reason to fucking talk about it or sit there. These are the people that allow this because it doesn't impact them. So it's easy for them to say, yeah, let it happen. Perfect example. When I buy digital, it's my choice. When you take it away from me, that's a problem. Gran Turismo is $38.99 on Amazon, but it's $70 on the PS Store. At this point, the choice is mine to make, but taking that choice away is a problem. You don't understand that. Fuck you. And that's the thing. They are taking your ability to get cheaper deals, to go elsewhere. They want to eliminate as many avenues. They want you to pay what they want you to pay, and you pay them directly. No longer third, no longer buying games like GameStop, no longer buying things on Amazon. A perfect example is Nintendo. They don't barely ever, discount their games. It has to be a third party that does it for them. And now they're making it, well, sorry. We're not going to discount it. No used games, no longer trading, no longer letting your friend play. Fuck you. And people don't realize this. And people think that, complaining about it or, calling it out is going to change anything. I beg to differ. Look at NFTs. The gaming community said, fuck that, and banded together. And then companies quickly said, this is no longer going to be good for us. And now we don't have, I don't know a single game that's trying to do NFTs. So NFTs are gone. What about AI? Sure, I'm sure that there's studios and publishers using AI. I'm sure they are. But at the level that they were trying to do, you already have Microsoft pulling back of Copilot. You have multiple developers pulling back from AI or making it clear because the gaming community has pushed back against that. Sure, it will probably still happen, but look at the degree that it's being held back. Your voice, your choice of not spending money hurting these companies is forcing them to not go the route that they have to diverge and go a different path. Sure, they may still use AI, but not at the extent that they would have. Who knows where we would be with AI and how much AI would be, used if the gamer and the consumers didn't push back against it. So the idea that, well, you're just wasting your time pushing back, no, I disagree. And anyone that's trying to encourage you not to be against this and to call this out, they are anti-gamer, they are shit eaters, and their opinion should not matter. Sony, and they want to increase prices. They want you to buy games without having ownership. And then you have them, they completely ignore their own shit that they put out. Sony Game Boss says companies will bravely keep sending live service over the top despite canceling 8 of the 12 ones that planned for 2025 and wiping out most of Destiny 2 developers. You're going to see, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. You're going to see people, especially developers, this is for you. And Sony, if you hate seeing Steam charts or people, trying to kill games, this is going to be 20 times over now. 20 times. You're going to see more people shit down your throat. You're going to see more people scrutinize every little game, and they were going to make sure if it's not what they want, they're going to make sure it dies. You're going to have more layoffs. You're going to have more. You're going to watch as the AA studios die one by one because of these Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, because they're greedy. They're not listening to the consumers. They're increasing prices so people are affording it less and less, and they're making games that no one wants to waste their time on. If a game costs $100, you think that the average Joe is going to want to flip $100 in hopes that it's going to be a good game? I mean, look at Marathon. What a waste of $40. But then you have this was the beautiful one. This is the beautiful. Gaming is expensive. We need to cut costs. We need to, we've got to lay people off. It's too expensive. Gaming's too expensive because of development. Meanwhile, development looks like this. This is what they're developing instead of making shit you want. This is what they're making. They went and made all that, and someone spent probably a couple hours or more animating that. And you know what this is? This is the look at your gun option in Call of Duty. Who the fuck is doing that in the middle of the multiplayer game? And who's doing that more than once? Unless you're like a Zoomer who needs to take their Adderall. But even then, RAM. You got all these people being sued for RAM. The prices are going up. Man, it is not looking good for us gamers because we're squashed in the middle of it. And it's looking bad. But I've also lost hope in the gaming community. People are buying from scalpers. They're buying pre-orders. They're pre-ordering from pre-orders that you could just get from the console. People are paying over $130 for standard editions as the same price as Ultimate Edition. I've come to realize why there are so many stupid people defending the shitty choices of companies. It's because these people exist. I wish there was like a way for our governments to check on these people and do like a mental health test, and if they're not well, that they should be locked up in a box. Put them up. You want to get people some help? Find these people that are just so stupid. Their IQ is below the normal of operating human being. And then remember, like I said, you have content creators that are out there defending shitty choices like Grand Theft Auto going up to $80, not having a code, and also requiring you to buy the Ultimate Edition because they removed part of the game and you had to pay extra to have access to something that was already part of the full development. We have I Am Wild, unironically me, when I see people complaining about GTA 6 costs $80 at launch. Meanwhile, this guy has 2 Lambos, probably a Camaro, a mansion, probably 2 inside house pool, who knows? People like this will ruin gaming because it does not affect them. They will get free copies of the game. They will get more money, and they don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about the average Joe. And that's the problem, is that we need you stop supporting these people. Stop funding them. Stop use ad blockers so they don't get any ad revenue. Don't subscribe to them. Don't buy membership. Do everything to veto these people. Hurt them in the wallet. So then maybe when they lose money, they realize they need to shut the fuck up. But what's worse, we are taking L after L as a gamer. The ESA had came out and said that Minecraft, like private Minecraft servers or servers in general, were illegal. And now they've updated their statement a third time after saying community servers are the black market of video games, illegal and piracy to the California State Senate. They tripled down, updated their statement, and caused a bill to fail. We wonder what will be the consequences. That's right. These people do not care about you. They're trying to remove ownership of your game. They're trying to force you to be the good little pay piggies, oink, 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 and spend money on them. Shut up and give them your money. The U.S. bill, which required pay games to be playable after they shut down, has failed to pass a state Senate vote. Stop Killing Games says it will try again when the funding to do this properly. We are losing. And there's people who are literally celebrating all of this, by the way. I've never felt more ashamed and embarrassed to be a gamer. It is like watching it would be like watching, I don't want to be extreme, but I'm going to be extreme for the hype, for just the impact of it. It's like being Jewish and celebrating the Holocaust. You're watching your own people get fucked. Like, this is great. I love Germany. Yeah. Woo! Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Nothing here benefits you. You are literally hurting yourself. You are stupid. And don't think that they're not going to control and manipulate you. It's not just PlayStation just killed off a physical format, but they also recently introduced dynamic pricing in digital. So each player gets a different price during sales. Now without physical games, they're going to control everything. Now it all makes sense. Yeah. By the way, that's the difference between Steam and PlayStation. Steam, everyone gets the same low price. PlayStation says, well, depends on how much you spend. If you don't buy games, you get a cheap deal. If you spend all the games anyways, fuck you, give us your money. Like, this is so anti-consumer, anti-gamer, it's not even funny. It's insane. Reminder, Sony wanted to shut down the PS3 store when the PS5 released. They reversed the course due to pushback. They tried to force PC players to link PSN accounts for Helldivers 2. They reversed course due to pushback. Well, the bottom part stuck. All you did here was delay the inevitable, but you still pushed back, which is a good thing. You still achieved something, because the PS5 was released like several years ago. So if anything, you got several more years to use that content, which is still a win. I don't care who you are. Yeah, several more years is several more years. Hopefully by then you downloaded and got what you wanted out of it, so you have a physical like console, though hopefully it's in good shape so it lasts you a couple years. And then we have this one. Man, Cyberpunk was ahead of its time. And here we go. I feel like I am becoming Johnny. I'm becoming Johnny, man.
Corps have long controlled our lives, taken lots, and now they're after our souls.
Might be right. Can't really argue with you there.
V, I've declared war not because capitalism's a thorn in my side or out of nostalgia for an America gone by. This war's a people's war against a system that spiraled out of our control. It's a war against the fucking forces of entropy. Understand? Do whatever it takes to stop them, defeat them, gut them. If I gotta kill, I'll kill.
Okay, I don't know that
if
much.
I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
Maybe that's a little too far. Kill their financial gains. Kill their momentum. Don't actually go after these people. PSA.
Fucking hell. You still don't see it, but you will one day.
Yep. That's right. That's the reply to all the pay piggies. You don't see it, but you will one day. Oh, I haven't watched this. Apparently someone said that even Bethesda's making fun of them. I just want to see.
I've been looking for you. Do you have it? By the 9. Excellent work. I knew I could count on you.
A physical... I don't know if it's physical. I'm assuming it's a physical copy of the game, which is so stupid that they did that. They did it today too, which is funny. They chose to do it today. It's very funny. Even the legendary Kojima is saying, fuck you. You know, when the man that is respected by the industry says, fuck this shit, you know you done fucked up. Eventually, even digital data will no longer be owned by individuals on their own initiative. Whenever there's a major change or accident in the world, in a country, in a government, in an idea, in a trend, access to it may suddenly be cut off. We will not be able to freely access the movies, the books, and music that we have loved. I would be a have-not. That's what I'm afraid of. This is not greed. Respect. PlayStation devs are reaching out to me privately and they're not happy. Some are willing to fight back even if it means losing their jobs. So yeah, this shit is nuts. We'll see if man, because they know what the shitstorm that's about to come. They know the shitstorm that's about to come. So let's see. We got Elliot on the situation. I saved this for last. This is a lot to read. We'll wrap up here, right? Sony has announced from January 2028 it'll stop producing physical discs for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. This is all about control. Everything Sony gains from killing the disc flow flows from the fact that a disc is a unit of value. The platform holder stops earning from the moment it's first sold. A disc can be resold or rented 100 times, and Sony sees revenue from exactly one of those transactions. Every resale and rental is a value flowing to a players and retailers instead of to the platform. Without disc, that converts into a fresh, full price digital sale, or it doesn't happen at all. And both outcomes obviously suit Sony better than a thriving secondhand market. Physical pricing is elastic and beholden to supply and demand, which is why pre-owned discs routinely undercut the digital storefronts. As long as the cheap secondhand copies exist on the shelves and on eBay, they set a price floor Sony can't control, and they hand every player a permanent just wait and buy it used option. This move is all about profitability and the control for PlayStation and Xbox. We know Xbox is doing this, so I'm going to put Xbox, knowing that you probably put this out after it was announced, but we know Xbox and even Nintendo is already starting doing that. They will probably be full sending this too, as matching the trend. So let's put all publishers, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony together, shall we? Before you can press a disc, you need a gold master that clears first party certification, which has to happen about 3 months before the ship date. On paper, that means a finished cert ready build of a game a quarter of a year before anyone's meant to play it. The reality is that already stressed devs throw together a rough, held together with tape build whose job is to survive cert, get it stamped, and then actually ship the game via a mandatory day one patch. This is how it's often done in AA, but assembling those builds pulls the team's attention onto cert box ticketing tasks that should come after the core development, like controller, disconnect handling, storefront compliance, edge case plumbing, and all that. Polish can be the difference between a clean release and a rocky one. So technically, a digital-only title can put the final build much closer to launch. For a studio up against the wall, read all of them, that flexibility could mean the world. So there's one silver lining. The pre-owned market was one of rusty engines keeping specialist retailers alive. The margins on the new physical games are so thin for retailers, but used games are where the real money was for the shops. I used to work in game in the UK between 2006 and 2013, and we always had targets from head office for selling a certain share of used games. A code in box has none of these things that made physical worth choosing. No resale value, no lending, no collectability. The physical channel has no reason to exist. So it's the end for most dedicated game retailers, the nail in the coffin. Setting the disc cutoff at January 2028 all but confirms the next PlayStation isn't arriving before then too, of course. Yeah, all this is just anti-gamer. It's just anti-gamer. It's not for your benefit. Anyone who's sitting there and praising this or saying it's not a big deal, you are literally letting Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo open your mouth and take a shit down your throat. And I cannot wait, because I'll be able to afford it. But there will be a day where all these shit talkers are gonna be broke boys, and they're gonna be pissed, and then we can all look at them and say, this is your fault, you dumb fuck. Nothing about this situation is pro gamer. So I encourage you, if you have PC, buy from Steam. You can get it for cheap, because still 30% is they lose 30%. If you use a PlayStation game or Xbox game that you can get on PC, get on PC instead, because then they lose out on money. So give them the big fat fucking middle finger they deserve. Secondly, if you can pirate, start to pirate. I've already started it. Yeah, fuck them. You can't own it. They're going to remove ownership. Then you don't fucking deserve my money. I will use the black market. I'll use whatever methods I can. Fuck you. You want to be anti-consumer? I will be anti-corpo. Fuck you. And fuck anyone that wants to suck the nuts of these billion-dollar companies. You are a sheep. You are a pay pig. You are meaningless. You are pointless. You might as well just go and be their bitch boy, bitch girl, and suck their toes in real life, because that's the only value you possess. Fuck you for trying to ruin our hobby, our passion, and things that are generally part of our lives, especially if you grew up with these games, grew up with some of these publishers, grew up Hell, you have kids that you've introduced to gaming. The family aspect, there's your friends that you grew up with, your friends, best friend you met because of a video game, or your wife or your boyfriend or whoever that you met playing games. Just like sports, just like any other activity. Fuck you for trying to ruin that. I'm Mr. Game Counselor. Sorry, rant over. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.